Offense made some plays. Defense came back and made some plays. I thought it was a balanced scrimmage. I like the way we threw the football. I like the way we spread the football around. We had a couple of drop passes, but guys like Stephon Sullivan bounced back with some good catches. I thought Racing McMahon had a good day today. On defense, I thought Apu Ika was phenomenal, played fantastic. Derek Stingley made an outstanding play. I thought both our quarterbacks did very well. Very pleased with the spring.
Hello and welcome to Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche alongside Buddy Sanji here at Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Very convenient to Airline Highway. A lot to talk about, but first got to welcome in the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji. How you doing today?
Good to see you, JP. And right out of the gate, we want to wish Jordy Holtberg a happy birthday. I think J-Man turned 52 today. We lie about ages on this show, don't we?
We do.
Always good to see you. A lot to talk about. A little football, spring game. Did you know what they were serving up in the press box?
Not hot dogs?
PV, plain vanilla.
Wow.
Not French vanilla, just plain vanilla.
Right.
Basketball comes to an end with Virginia winning in overtime. Of course, softball doing great things. Dee Dee and her club in gymnastics. And we've got a special guest tonight, Coach Jeff Jones, folks. They have lit it up. And talk about special. This guy is a winner, and Madison Prep has won 6 championships in 9 years since they became a school. So we'll talk to Coach Jones coming up later on in the show.
Back to back, 5 times in a row state champions. We'll talk to head coach of the basketball team, Jeff Jones, also the athletic director over at Madison Prep. I'm sure he'll have a lot of good information for us. Lucky treat here on Tigers Roar. A lot to talk about. You mentioned the spring game. A lot of vanilla, as you mentioned it, but still, some guys really flashing the pan. Some newcomers really making their name early for the Tigers, including one, Mr. Derek Stingley Jr.
You know, one of the things that was so tough last year is we do post-game show, and, you know, nothing against the guy who was given 7 and invariably moved over to number 12, but that was one of the worst punt return units that I've ever seen in modern day history for LSU. You're going to go from worst to first. I'm going to make the prediction now. Derek Stingley will be, if not the top punt returner in the conference, one of them, all of it contingent upon him being healthy. But JP, really, LSU has not had a threat in the return game, either kickoff and punt return. Special teams have been good. Otherwise, 25 of 29 kicking field goals. We know how that they have great snappers and great punters and all that, but now you got some excitement in the return game this year.
The offense was vanilla. Did see some good battles in the trenches, offensive and defensive line. A guy that really stood out to me with 2 sacks, this young guy, Ika. I mean, he is a load in the middle. Definitely going to compete with Tyler Shelvin at that defensive nose position. Talk a little bit about Mr. Ika.
Well, Siaki Apu Ika.
Thank you.
Is a guy that came over here and he blew up in the All-Star games, but the only problem is his belly blew up. He was 390 pounds. They've already got about 30 off of it, so he's in the 360 range. Tyler Shelvin did not look as good as he did, but once again, you're going 1s against 1s, 2s against 2s. By the way, Tyler Shelvin has gotten into the 340 range. These are the kind of guys that are going to force people to double block them. This is what Dave Aranda wants. You get a guy in the middle that ties up a couple of blockers. All of a sudden, you got Caleb on Chase on and others from the outside. And how about Michael Divinity? They used it as kind of an experiment. Now they're thinking he's going to be middle and put Patrick Queen outside. So the defense is not the problem, JP. The problem is, once again, the left tackle and the right tackle, and that's something that is going to be problematic until Sadiq Charles, Austin Deculus, and whoever is going to back up at those 2 spots gets a little more consistent.
7 sacks allowed at that spring game. Yeah, no tackling of the quarterback. Just have to get one hand on him. So there's an asterisk next to that 7 number, but you mentioned it. That offensive line needs to get better. LSU thought they kind of solidified some things, having some guys coming back with some experience, but still a lot of question marks across that front.
Well, you know, I had Brian Holland on today, one of the local media guys that we have on with Cobbs and JD and all the other ones, and they do a great job at interviewing the offensive line. One of the things that Brian said today, and I've heard it a lot, JP, the offensive line loves this offense because the quarterback is getting rid of the ball much quicker. You're not going to recognize LSU. They're going to be in shotgun. They're going to be in empty. They're going to have 3 and 4 and 5 wides. It's going to be fun to watch, but you still got to block those pass rushing demons from the edge. Really probably the reason Florida beat them last year. And we know, once again, not scoring against Alabama. I've already said that, I'll do crazy things if LSU doesn't score this year against Alabama. They're going to score this year. Going to be a lot of fun. And let's be honest, Jonathan, the offense has got to carry their weight this year, and I think they got a chance to do that.
That's the most intriguing part of the offseason to me. Will this LSU offense finally look different? We've heard it for many years. LSU's going to have a different offense behind Les Miles, and then again from Coach O the last couple of years. Now we're going to spread it out. We're going to have a lot of quick passing. Have the quarterback get the ball out of his hands, as you mentioned, quicker, help that offensive line. But it seems, even though the spring game was vanilla, there was a lot of different sets. Saw the fullback go out wide, use Stephon Sullivan as a tight end. That could create a lot of mismatches. It should be interesting. What can Joe Brady bring to this offense, along with Coach Steve Ensminger?
Another buddy, Ron Higgins, said the offense is up to the Joes now, Joe Burrow and Joe Brady. This is the offense that Joe Burrow ran all through high school and at Ohio State. This is the offense the Saints run, Ohio State runs. You're not going to see the fullback. You're not going to see the I formation. You're not going to see all the pitches backs to the tailback. But you are going to see plenty of shotgun, plenty of getting rid of the ball quickly, plenty of no huddle, plenty of hurry up, and 3 and 4 wide receivers. Boom! You hit, you dink and dunk, boom! You're at the line of scrimmage. I've said it for 2 or 3 years, and I've looked stupid. I'm hoping I don't look crazy again this year. If you are a lady, don't talk to your husband during the offense, because he's going to be saying, honey, I got to watch this new offense. This is what I'm waiting for 12 years.
Right, a lot more on the spring game here on Tigers Roar. Also going to talk some baseball. LSU, big series at home this previous weekend against the Texas A&M Aggies. Able to get the series after a doubleheader on Saturday. LSU takes the first game, drops the second game so close. A long ball away from really taking the lead in that game, number 2. Cole Henry, outstanding job in game number 3. That guy has ace written all over him. We'll hear from Coach Paul Maneri later on in this program, but LSU did drop a midweek game to Southern. Coach Maneri said, look, Southern just came out more hungry than us. They were tough outs at the plate, and the pitcher really kept the hitters for LSU handcuffed. So, look, they wanted it more. They played outstanding. They were the better team last night. Southern gets the win at home, Lee Hines Field.
I know A.D. Roman Banks has got to be just tickled. You know, when Kerrick Jackson came to Southern, I watched his press conference and I said, wait a minute. He mentioned the O word, Omaha, and you think, oh man, LSU goes to Omaha. Southern doesn't even think about going to Omaha. I had him on over to Lynn's last year and I said, you know, the guy really gets it about changing the culture. So when you change the culture, you know how it is. You got to have everybody that is a Southern fan buy in,
That's right.
Go to the games, buy tickets, spend money, but look, they're a good ball club, and no hit LSU through about the 7th inning, only gave up 2 hits, and to have that victory at Lee Hines Field last night, I know Coach Banks will talk about it a lot and talked about it tonight on his show, and just a wonderful, wonderful moment, and you can't say enough about Coach Jackson and the job he's done over there, rebuilding, taking over a legend who does the show right here on Pelican TV, Coach Roger Kadar. Those are big shoes to fill. Kerrick Jackson's starting to fill them, JP.
Yep, big shoes to fill from Coach Kadar. He's a big man, but also a legend in the game. We all love Coach Kadar. I think he did a great job. Outstanding. Legend in Baton Rouge. Kerrick Jackson really stepping into his own light and has this baseball team really playing well right now.
Yeah, they really do. I kind of worry a little bit about all the strikeouts with LSU. They are striking out more than we've ever seen. And look, this is a great thing about baseball. You know, you're not into it. You're worried about your girlfriend. Is she thinking about me? Do I have a test tomorrow? Whatever. These midweek games are tough because these guys are student athletes.
Right.
But now you got to forget it, flush it down the toilet, and go to Missouri, which is a weird place to play. And you hope to get 2 or 3. LSU sitting at 8 and 4 with Ole Miss and Arkansas on the SEC West. Only a game behind Georgia, who's 7 and 2, but boy, these midweek games have been very frustrating for the LSU fan base.
Also want to talk some LSU softball. Coach Beth Arena's bunch coming off a 4-0 win over McNeese State last night. Lady Tigers really doing well this season, ranked 5th in a couple of polls, 7th in another. Top 10, outstanding work. getting some great pitching from, you got
Maribeth Gurich.
Gurich through last night, giving some
Shelby
a little
Wickersham.
break. Wickersham's also outstanding.
Sunseri. I mean, look, they are loaded, but here's what they're doing more so than ever before. They're hitting the long ball.
The crazy part to me is Sunseri, Sanchez, all these girls, outstanding in the field, but also no easy outs in that lineup. LSU can put some runs on the board. We'll hear from Coach Beth Tarina and the fantastic pitcher from last night, junior Miss Maribeth Gersich. And we'll hear from more of that later on in this show. Also want to talk some LSU gymnastics going to another semifinal. 7 in a row for Coach Dee Bro's bunch. What more can you say? Sarah Finnegan continues to dominate in every facet. More titles than she can even count. What can you say about Coach Dee Bro's bunch?
It is amazing. They had all kinds of bumps and bruises. Of course, Lexi Priestman once again re-injured the elbow, and so they held her out. Sarah Finnegan was having the flu symptoms, and they came out. And of course, the new formula this year with the regionals, there'll only be a Final Four this year. There's always been a Super Six. And so now in a couple of weeks, I guess in about 10 days, they go to Fort Worth, and they've got to finish in the top 2 there. But just a gutty, clutch performance. And man, you talk about all the people. Can you imagine the pressure when you're the second to last or the last lady on that apparatus, and they're always coming in with a 9.9, a 9.95. McKenna Kelly, fantastic on floor, but Sarah Finnegan, she is going to go down as one of my all-time favorites, and there have been some great ones.
Well, all that and a whole lot more here on Tigers Roar this evening. As we mentioned, we have the athletic director and head basketball coach for the men at Madison Prep Academy, Coach Jeff Jones, will be joining us live on set to spend a little time with Buddy this evening. And we'll come back, we'll talk more spring game. We'll let you hear from head coach Ed Ogeron, his press conference after that spring game on Saturday. The Purple defeated the White in a score of 17-14. Once again, I am Jonathan Poche alongside Buddy Sanji here at Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. If you haven't checked it out yet, do yourself a favor, get on out here, try the food, it's fantastic. The atmosphere is even better, lots of space, got a full bar, full kitchen, available for parties if you want to rent it out for Mondays. It is closed on Monday, but available for parties. Every day of the week they have a different lunch express menu. Great deal, great food. Come check it out. Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Come back and join us here on Tigers Roar. We have a whole lot more after this break.
Going golfing. Ooh. Off to golf.
You're picking that up.
Off to the range, honey.
Bye.
Oh, that was close. Glad you got the backup camera installed.
Yep.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Jordy Heltberg for Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market at 12451 Old Jefferson Highway. Chairman's Reserve steaks, their pork, their chicken, their seafood, top of the line. Primo barbecue pits, Icy Tech coolers. They can go anywhere and cater anything for you. Go to 751-7665 to call Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market, where good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market.
but you can't keep it in your heart. 'Cause misery loves company. 'Cause misery loves company. Cold and hungry like a dog in the street. I get a raw deal every one.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche, joined by the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji, here at Scoreboards on a Wednesday night. Buddy, want to talk some more spring game? Another guy that surprised me, Stephon Sullivan, playing the tight end spot. Did have a couple drops, but man, that guy could definitely create some mismatches for the offense.
You know, it's has been something that we've been talking about for 3 or 4 years, and the one he dropped in the spring game early was right in his breadbasket. But I've loved this kid ever since they signed him, and he is a mismatch to cover with some defensive players. Now, they threw him in the tight end, and he said, I don't want any of that. But you put a guy like that, 6'7", 235, that can run in the slot, and with this new offense, all of a sudden, you got a little 5 or 7 yard out. Right. You throw him the ball, the slant or whatever. They got to catch the football. Everybody knows Justin Jefferson developed as to the most consistent receiver. Jamar Chase. People are going to be chasing after him all year. I'm going to predict it right now. Jamar Chase has 1,000 yards receiving if he stays healthy. Terrace Marshall, really, really unbelievable potential. Got everything you want. Got to get over that ankle, which bothers him a little bit. Stephon Sullivan, D. Anderson, all these other receivers. And how about Miles Brennan? Finally finding a girlfriend that put a little weight on him.
That's right. Feed that boy. He's doing a good job. Was like 9 for 10 in the first half of that spring game. Miles Brennan finally really coming into his own, getting comfortable in that backup position. So vital to have a backup quarterback then come in, not miss a beat for that offense if something would happen to Burrow, because you know LSU's going to depend on a lot on his legs this season with that RPO offense. Talk a little bit about the running backs. Everybody thought that Clyde Edwards-Helaire came in as the lead dog in that stable, but Chris Curry, way to explode into a new season. Great spring game. Absolutely trucked the man. That made it viral over Twitter and the social media outlets. Chris Curry, a load in the backfield. We're at 24, kind of like beast mode.
Yeah. Let me verify with Miles. That is a joke. And Miles, of course, with the Brennan family, has been around food all his life.
Right.
You're a young guy and can eat for days and eat at 3 o'clock all the way till 3 o'clock in the morning. Me and TK and Jordy, we eat late and it puts weight on us. But Miles Brennan's metabolism is finally keeping some of this weight on. Chris Curry is a Marshawn Lynch type of runner.
Right.
But once again, let's be cognizant of the fact that was in mop-up duty.
Definitely.
Leonard Fournette, they love throwing him out the backfield with the wheel route. And don't forget, John Emery and T. Davis Price coming in. So LSU is going to – and look, I love Nick Brissett. Know Nick as a friend and was ecstatic that he had 14 rushing touchdowns and 1,000 yards.
Yep.
But running back will be appreciably improved this year. And they're going to be taking some balls and some runs to the house, and that's really what they didn't have last year.
Now, you can listen to us talk about the spring game, or you can listen to head coach Ed Ogeron. That's what you can do right here on Tigers Roar. Here is the words from himself, head coach of the football team, Coach Ed Ogeron, after that spring game this past Saturday.
All right, guys, you know what you saw in spring ball today is basically the way all the scrimmages went. Offense made some plays, defense came back and made some plays. I thought it was a balanced scrimmage. I like the way we threw the football. I like the way we spread the football around. We had a couple of drop passes, but guys like Stephon Sullivan bounced back with some good catches. I thought Racing Matt had a good day today. On defense, I thought Apu Ika was phenomenal, played fantastic. Derek Stingley made an outstanding play. I thought both our quarterbacks did very well. Very pleased with the spring.
How about your offensive execution today compared to last spring's offensive execution?
Yeah,
Night and day of it.
night and day. It's night and day, our plan, night and day of what we're doing. And then again, you know, we didn't have Joe Burrow last spring. And Miles wasn't where he's at today. I think the development of the quarterback the addition of Joe Brady along with Steve Ismaker, what we're doing, the efficiency of the offense, the look overs, calling the right play against the right defense, that's what you're seeing out there.
How much is protecting the quarterback still a bit of a concern?
It's a very big concern. Obviously, at first we didn't get a rush, and then the defense got heated up a little bit, and there was too many sacks at the end. But those are some of the things that we're going to continue to work on.
How pleased were you with the tempo of the offense?
Yeah, I liked it. But there's going to be some better tempo. Where we'll be going for on 4th down. There's going to be some hurry up. We did no hurry up today. Most of it was just look overs. But that's something that in camp in the heat of August that we're going to work on very much on trying to tire the defense down.
What do you see out of Chris Curry doing?
Toughness, physical. What we need, and we need some. In the spread offense, we need some physicality, and we need somebody to be able to break some tackles. And he showed us some physicality today. And I know that Tyron Davis is going to bring that, and I know that John Nimmer is going to bring you some stuff at running back too.
And knowing that the game was on TV today, how cognizant of it were you just not to show?
Yeah, very. We ran very little RPOs. We ran very little of some of the run game that we were running. Obviously, we ran some 5-wide packages, but we didn't do everything we'll do out of that. We didn't go in the goal line of short yardage. So we didn't show any kicking, so we were aware of that.
How big are the backs coming out of the backfield, catching the ball,
Yeah.
in this offense?
We like it. That's one of the reasons we went to the Saints this past summer to get the Saints passing game. And those guys did a tremendous job for us. And now that Joe's with us, he's able to implement it. Our guys catch the ball very well out of the backfield. It's going to be a big part of our offense.
Can you speak to that being the idea of an extended handoff and just trusting with the short passing and that type of security in that?
Say it again.
The security in that type of short passing.
Sure.
Can you speak to, I guess, the asset that it is?
Yeah, we want to get rid of the ball quick to help the pass protection, keep the ball moving. 3, 4, 5 yards a pop, keep the chains moving, short passing game, short, easy throws. That's what we want to do.
You converted some of those 3rd downs out of those 5 wide receiver sets.
Yeah.
What does that mean about where this offense is right now?
Yeah, I think we're very far advanced than we've ever been here since I've been here. Obviously, we've got a ways to go. When the protection holds up, the guys are going to get open. We're going to have the right plays called, and the quarterback can get the ball to them. But obviously, there's only 5 men protecting, so we have to protect.
I'm sorry if you answered this already, but Derek Stingley was very active, and he looked like he was very smooth.
It's what we saw all spring, man. The guy came in, was phenomenal, practiced with us before the bowl game. He just came in from day one and was able to compete at a starting position. The play he made on that ball, he made those plays every Saturday. I think he's going to be an excellent player, and you see him returning punch for us. I think he's going to make a difference there.
Seemed like Mpuike kind of did some of the same. I guess what did you see from him today?
Dominant performance. I think that he made a difference. When he was in there with the first team, they did not run the ball in the middle. There was no runs. He actually had a couple of good pass rushes. Usually on the green team, we put the speed out there, and he was rushing on a 3 technique and had 2 or 3 sacks. I thought he had a dominant day, and it looked like the game was easy to him today. He was having fun out there, running around, dancing. That's the type of player we want.
I know Tyler Shelvin came up with a fumble recovery in the first quarter. What did you think of his play during the spring?
Yeah, let me say this to you. I think that he had an excellent spring. I think that when he was moved down to second team, he was motivated. Last Saturday, he was probably the best defensive lineman on the field. Today, Apu was, so they're competing. I believe that both of those guys, you can say they're sharing the starting spot at nose tackle, but we got better at that position, and I'm glad we did. We needed to.
Just the transformation of Tyler. I mean, you hate to say he's slim, but you can see it from the bowl game to now.
Yes. Yeah. Tyler's lean body mass is 338. So that's pretty phenomenal. He's at 341, so we're not going to get him any lighter. So he's going to play around 340, get in condition, but now he's putting on muscle, taking off fat, growing up, taking accountability. I think he's going to be an excellent player for us.
How do you feel Divinity played in his spot today?
Good.
How do you think he's transitioned
Good.
to that role?
First of all, Michael's very smart. Michael's a leader out there. He's a communicator. He played sack linebacker in high school. The transition was very easy for him. We can use him as a stack linebacker on first and second down, as a rusher on third down. He's a very good player for us.
Is there any update on Traore yet?
Say again?
With Trey Orr.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't look good. It didn't look good on the field. I didn't hear anything yet, though.
And when it comes to Stingley, physically, compared to other 18, 19-year-old freshmen, how far ahead is he?
He's different. You know, his dad's a coach. He's very well coached at Dunham High School. He's big, strong, and he's fast. He's unusual. You know, he's a great offensive player. He has great ball skills, great awareness. The guy's a phenomenal athlete. But he still has some things to get better at. There were 2 scrimmages ago that Jamar Chase kind of got the best of him. So, but today he was ready to go.
How about your receivers in the spring? You know, you can't see a lot here in this situation. What do you see every day?
Very pleased with him. And the development of all the receivers from A to Z, from top to bottom, I think that everybody knows now that they have a chance. Everybody knows when you go 5 wides, you got to play a lot of wide receivers. We're going to need Trey Palmer and Devontae Lee to come in and play. I think the guys had an excellent spring. I was disappointed with some of the drops early today. Maybe they were nervous underneath the lights. I don't know. I think the more that we can throw the ball to Stephon Sullivan, the better we're going to be. He's a force. We use him at tight end. We split him out. And Jamar Chase had a great spring. Jefferson's outstanding. Terrence is coming along. I think that we have a great group of wide receivers.
Obviously, you have to go back and look at film, but at first glance, what are some of the things y'all see that y'all need to work on?
Yeah, obviously pass protection. At the end, there was too many sacks. Pass rush at the beginning, I thought the defense was flat. The offense came out. I didn't like the energy of the defense. You know, obviously having Killavon back, Christian back, Rashard back. We need to start faster there. But I thought the efficiency of the quarterback was really good. The tackling I need to see, and I'll need to look at the effort on the film.
How much do you feel like Miles?
How much better are you than you are in the summer?
Well, we're further ahead because of Joe Burrow, our quarterback. I think we're further ahead with the offensive line. I think Sadiq Charles has made some of the most improvement. I think we're further ahead with the knowledge of the scheme that we want to put our players in space and put the ball in their hands. The addition of Joe Brady has been phenomenal for us, what we're doing on offense. On defense, I think that we're better at our pass rush, our edge rush. Travez Moore has had a good spring. Michael Divinity has a good spring. Ray Thornton, when we get Killavon Chasson back, we should have 4 or 5 great rushers.
How much has Miles improved from last spring game to where he is now?
Yeah, confidence, gain weight. And I said it, you can see it in the 4th quarter program, him maturing, him taking leadership, playing with fire, studying more, being out there. And, you know, being the quarterback, we seen him when we came in. He was a kid full of fire, a kid we actually has a quick release, a really quick release, as you see it out there, his accuracy and his understanding of the offense. And overall, just confident back there.
What do you want Burrow to improve on, now to the fall?
Not taking that sack, being smart. It's a 2-minute drill. He can't take that sack. You got to throw that ball away. You don't take that sack. His leadership skills are phenomenal. We didn't run the ball with him at all. We needs to get healthy. His shoulder is still a little sore. I'm glad that nobody hit him today. Just continue to be who he is.
You said last year that Chris Kerr reminded you of Marshawn Lynch. I mean, did that hit kind of bring that to you today?
We got a ways to go there. And I like Chris. But that's what exactly when you said that, I thought about that. That's what we saw in recruiting. You know, that's what we want from him.
But did he show anything this spring? He had some.
Yes. Oh yeah. No question. You know, he was injured a little bit, which hampered him a little bit, but he showed that power running back that we need. Yes, he showed he can do that.
From a coach's perspective, not only having Burrow coming into his 2nd year with the program, but you know, the situation where he's already graduated, he's not having to commit as much time to outside stuff. And from a coaching perspective, how much more that relationship can be advantageous when you're both able to commit more to
you love it. You know, he can be in the office almost all day, you know, studying and doing things on his own. Very smart. He brings his iPad home. I think he goes home and gets a burrito on Saturday night and studies football. You gotta love that, you know. And so I think that the maturity that he has, it's been wonderful that we can get a graduate transfer for 2 years. I really think that made the difference in our program.
Coach, can take one more question. Overall, how do you feel about your team as you finish spring?
Feel confident. Feel confident that we're doing the right things. I know that that the right plays are being called on defense. I know that we have a good scheme on offense. I feel good about special teams, where we're going to be. I know every year is going to be challenging. I think we have great leadership on this football team. We got to get better on the line of scrimmages, on the defensive line and the offensive line, and that's going to be an emphasis in camp.
Coach, is backing a Democrat going to affect recruiting?
Well, I'll tell you something. I love Louisiana. See you guys.
That was head coach Ed Ogeron from this past Saturday. LSU purple team defeated the white team 17-14 here on Tigers Roar. Special guest coming up after this break, the head coach of the men's basketball team, the athletic director, and the assistant principal for Madison Prep Academy, Coach Jeff Jones, will be on set here on Tigers Roar. Come back and join us after this break.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi folks, Clarence Buggs here. Coach Roger Cador would take the time to tell you how to catch our brand new show, The Roger Cador Show, but as you can see, he's kind of busy right now out at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill with food that is absolutely amazing. Catch the show 8 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, and on Pelican Television's YouTube channel as well. You want to come out and have a great time. It's awesome, isn't it, Coach? Mm-hmm. Told you.
The Acord Eye Clinic has moved to a new office, just minutes from the old office at 8280 YMCA Plaza Drive, Building 9. Dr. Shonda Acord and her staff welcome patients of all ages, including children and adults. They have a wide variety of frames and sunglasses, including Maui Jim. The Acord Eye Clinic features modern instruments and state-of-the-art technology, including digital retinal scanning with Optomap, hard-to-fit contact lenses, as well as professional care and service. Open Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. Call for an appointment, 225-767-EYES, and visit the website, visionsource-br.com. The Acord Eye Clinic looks forward to seeing you.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
And we welcome you back on a Wednesday night. Beautiful day in the capital city of Baton Rouge. Hope everybody doing well. It is Tigers Roar, and generally I'm on the radio, but they pulled me in out the bullpen today to do a little TV, and it is Coach Jeff Jones with Madison Prep Academy. Coach, thanks for coming by tonight.
Hey,
and I got to start off by asking you, you know, we're all spoiled in our own ways with food and all the things that we love, but are you a little worried that you have spoiled the fan base of Madison Prep with all these championships? It doesn't matter. You started in Class B, then you went to Single A, then you went to Double A, then you've won Triple A. What is in the water, and what do you think is the secret with all these championships? And are you ever worried? I know you told your team this year, hey guys, y'all might be the first group that don't win a championship.
Yeah, I did tell them that. Actually, we've been blessed. We've had good kids, good parents, you know, and kids that kind of come in after the other guys that have been successful for them, and they just kind of want to keep it going.
You know, it's almost like a culture. And, you know, let's be honest. You grow up with expectations, and, hey, the guys before you won a state championship. Well, when you're talking to them on the first day of practice, you tell them all the things about this is what our goals are, and you don't talk about championships. You talk about what it takes to win championships. But deep down, they know they have a little pressure, because if they don't, then everybody's going to say, hey, good season, but by the way, you guys didn't win it this year.
Right. You know, it's crazy that it's like that, but it's true. You know, if you don't win the championship, you know, the guys feel like the season's a failure. And that's kind of unfortunate, but it's a kind of healthy thing for those guys. It makes them push. It makes some guys try hard, makes them go out and play every night with a sense of urgency. You know, because they want to be the ones that keep it going. They want to be the guy. They don't want to be the group of guys that don't get it done. And, you know, ultimately those guys want to come, they want to win, they want to have a chance to go play college basketball.
61-54 winners, once again, second consecutive year with the AAA state championship. Coach, talk about what made your team a championship team this year.
The biggest thing I would say with this group, unlike groups in the past, we had one returning starter, Jaheim Spencer, and then we had a host of other guys that played JV or middle school last year that stepped into bigger roles. You know, two guys, two juniors, Jason Perry, Elijah Tate, two young kids that were juniors this year that really stepped up. I think they gave us 17 and 19 in the championship game. Those guys all really, they carried us through. You know, Jaheim actually broke his toe in the Bruley game, which was the last game of the season. And, you know, the other guys just kind of rallied around and kind of picked up their slack and lifted their productivity and got us on by.
Talk a little bit about how Madison Prep evolved, and I guess the first great player that I really noticed from Madison Prep was Brandon Sampson, of course, who's now making a living playing basketball. But you've had some great players that are good enough to go on to college. By the way, Coach Jones has a big 6'8" freshman right now, and I don't know if Will Wade will be around or whoever's going to be around, but it seems like he's going to certainly draw a lot of attention going forward here. But talk about Brandon and how the school started and how you were able to get guys in here to believe that your vision is the one to win championships.
You know, actually, the school started 10 years ago. This is my 9th year there. DeJuan Johnson's our superintendent. I was at Glen Oaks High School. He's a Glen Oaks High School alum. He actually came to the school. They were using our football field to play their football games over there. And he stopped me in the cafeteria and asked me about coming over to Madison. Initially, the first year, I was kind of spoiled and settled at Glen Oaks, so I wanted to stay there. But after that first year, I went on ahead and gave it a try. And actually, the first great player we had there wasn't Brandon, it was Jarrell Martin.
Oh, okay, Jarrell, that's right.
Jarrell actually left Glen Oaks, came with me from Glen Oaks to Madison, sat out his first year, got his academics in order, played his junior year, which was his first year playing organized ball, made first team All-State, and this following year was McDonald's All-American and won our first state title in 2013.
You know, it's funny, I had a good buddy of mine that knew Jarrell and his family, and he was really talented, but his granddaddy would tell him, hey man, you got to get a little tougher. Sometimes you play soft. How tough is that for a coach to sit there and look a kid in the eye and say, you know what, I know you've given me all, but you got to get a little tougher, and I don't want to see soft, I don't want to see complaining, I don't want to see excuses. Give me everything you got. And of course, Jarrell, as we know, developed into a hell of a player. But his granddaddy, according to my friend, would get on him and say, you got to get tougher, baby.
You know, that's probably one of the fundamental principles of our program, toughness. And, you know, I demand that. And really those guys come there and they exhibit that because they know that's just one of the things you have to do to play this game and play it well. You got to play tough. You got to play smart. Those are just prerequisites for basketball, championship basketball.
And of course, Coach Jones, doing a little research for this interview, I know you are a proponent of Harvey Adger. Harvey has been around this basketball scene. He's legendary and Hall of Famer. And look, I know you cut your teeth with Harvey. What are some of the things when you saw Harvey coach and you said, you know what, I'm going to take that and bring it to my program because I think it works. And oh, by the way, I believe the same way you do on that, Harvey.
I think the biggest thing that I picked up from Coach Adger, one is his attention to detail, two is his commitment, and three would have to be his consistency. And, you know, that's something that I took from him and tried to take over to Madison, you know, going when you don't feel like going, you know, because you're setting an example for those guys. You know, sometimes we used to practice at 4 a.m. We practice over the summer, month of June, 6 a.m., Monday through Thursday. You know, I don't want to go to 6 a.m. practice, but you know, it's not about me. It's showing these guys something, and you know, it kind of puts that championship culture in them. You know, we have a saying that we adopted from Glen Oaks. We're the hardest working team in the state. You can't beat us if you can't outwork us. And those guys go in and put in the work, and they expect the outcome that they get.
You know, talking to coaches all through the years of my career, Jeff, we sit around and BS, and everybody always would tell me, you know, you ought to take a psych course because you got to push one button for this kid and one button for that kid. How tough is that, knowing what buttons to push for each individual player to get the most out? I'll give you Dale Brown. He couldn't chew on Chris Jackson, a.k.a. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, but boy, he could blow a gasket on Shaquille O'Neal because of the way Sergeant Harrison brought him up. Right. How much studying do you do before, and can you tell relatively early who you can be tough with and who you got to almost treat a little bit differently?
Yeah, it's kind of like kids, you know. I mean, I'm a father, and you know, it's just like kids. All your players are different. You know, all your players have different personalities. You know, it doesn't take as much to motivate this one as that one, and you just kind of have a feel for your players and know your players, what it takes to get the best out of them, because ultimately, that's what your desired outcome is, just trying to get them to give you their best in order to help the team.
All right, now, you know, something happened, not that we're going down controversy lane here, Jeff, but something happened with college this year. And Coach Tom Izzo, who's one of the best coaches in the business, blew a gasket and kind of lost his cool and almost physically went after a kid. Talk a little bit about that nowadays. Look, when I was growing up, my mom and daddy would whip my butt, and if I'd start crying, they'd say, no, I'm going to give you something to cry about. You heard that before. But talk about this being a different age and how we deal with parenting and teaching and coaching. Did you agree with Coach Izzo, or did you think maybe he walked across the line on that one a little bit?
I mean, I agree, but I just kind of think, like you said, in these days and times, you just have to be really careful. You know, with social media and everything, can be seen and replayed and dissected. His intention was not to abuse anybody. His intention was trying to get a point across and ultimately correct the player and make him better. But, these days and times, you have to be careful with that.
Hey, let's talk about Virginia and Texas Tech in overtime. Man, I tell you what, Texas Tech, I never seen so much the first 5 minutes of that game. It seemed like both teams were having trouble getting the shot off. Some really incredible defense. How much did you watch, and who do you try to pattern your high school team after from a college standpoint?
It seemed like that might be a tie-up situation. That was close and just great pursuit.
Okay.
Texas Tech was my favorite in the game. The first college coach I ever spoke to was Chris Beard. He was at Seminole Junior College recruiting a kid named Jeremy Bennett from Glen Oaks High School. Chris Beard's a Bobby Knight disciple. Real detail-oriented, tough, defensive-minded type coach. So I was kind of pulling for Texas Tech. But I was happy to see Virginia win, coming off of the worst loss in NCAA tournament history. 16 seed, losing to getting beat losing by 1 seed last year. It was a good story for Virginia. I was happy for Coach Bennett. The teams are kind of mirror images of each other. Both of them are really detailed and defensive-minded teams. So, that was one of those kind of games. Either way, whoever won, I was happy.
Once again, if you're joining us here on Pelican Sports TV on a Wednesday night with Tigers Roar, we are visiting with Jeff Jones, the coach and athletic director and assistant principal, and been around the game a long time. Are you more of a defensive coach or an offensive guy? And talk about, many years ago, that first couple days of practice, some coaches say, oh, no, we don't need a basketball. You shoot enough. We're going to teach you the footwork, the defense, all the grunt stuff that's hard. Talk about how you take pride in teaching what? Are you more defensive or offense oriented?
Definitely more defensive oriented, defensive minded, and more of an effort type guy. If you watch our teams play, guys, it's a prerequisite that guys take charges. That guys box out and do the tough physical things that a lot of guys don't do. We don't really like to play a lot of pretty basketball. We try to do a lot of the tough things that a lot of teams don't do, and that's the difference in winning and losing.
Well, that's your cup of tea, watching that championship final on Monday night. Is it true you told a kid afterwards in the state championship game, that's probably the first charge you took all year? I think the kid, was that Jalen Perry?
That was Jason Perry. Yeah.
Jason Perry. Tell me a little bit about him and how important that was in that game.
Jason Perry's, like I said, he was a junior for us this year. Kind of versatile, multifaceted type guy, but not really one that gave his body up a lot. Kind of injury prone early in his career, and he slid in and took a charge. Actually, I challenged him early in the game. Elijah Tate had taken 2 tough charges on a big kid from Wassman, and in the timeout, we right before they went out, I told them we get a stop right here, we end up winning this game. Need one guy to take a charge, and Jason Perry just happened to be the guy to take it. And it drove everybody crazy because he doesn't do that on a regular basis. So.
Now I know you've been in 7 straight championship finals and you've won 5 consecutive. Is there any one of those championships sweeter? Because when I did a little research, this team probably didn't have as much talent as some of your other teams. Is this sweeter because it was more of a collective team effort, or are they all so sweet that you spoiled? It's like putting sugar in your coffee. You expect it to be sweet.
Nah, this championship and the one in 2016 were probably the two that will stand out in my career. 2016 when we beat Riverside, when they had Malik Crowfield, Jared Butler, Herb McGee, all those guys, and we kind of were underdog team. But this year's team were guys, we weren't really expected to win. When those guys kind of pulled together, going in as a 4 seed, and getting it done. This season would probably be the best one.
All right, Coach, let's talk about what you have coming back. And, hey, do you hear from the mamas and daddies and the kids and the fans saying, Coach, keep up the great work, but oh, by the way, I expect you to win another championship? Because let's be honest, you've spoiled them. And, oh, by the way, Jeff Jones has a lot of respect for Nick Saban. And, it's always interesting when you talk to coaches where they see other coaches and what you take from those. But How much spoiling do you have left, and is your team next year going to be even more talented than the one you had this year?
Next year we'll definitely be more talented than we were this year. We'll have 4 seniors that'll be battle tested. Eldridge Jackson, Elijah Tate, Jason Perry, Jordan Johnson. Some good juniors, Des Perkins and Kevon Shannon. And 2 good sophomores. You know, they got a lot of playing time, Jalen Williams and Percy Daniels. We'll be a very deep team, probably the biggest team we've had since I've been there. And the expectation will be, you know, what it's been the last few years.
Hey, let's talk about these kids now. And I go back, I'm old enough, Jeff, to go back to Daryl Dawkins, who had a name for every one of his donks. And, you know, we grew up in the days of using the glass and shooting free throws and all that. Fundamentally, what fundamentals do you think you have to teach more than anything? We all love to shoot and dunk and all that, but talk about the fundamentals that you have to teach that maybe the guys are a little slow to take a liking to, but once you teach them that, they realize how important it is for their game.
Probably the 2 biggest things are weak side defense. Weak side defense, help side defense. Weak side rebounding and taking charges are probably the 3 biggest things that a lot of kids don't do naturally and on a routine basis.
All right, before we let you out of here, I got to ask you about your philosophy with recruiting. You got a big 6'8" freshman. You've had some kids come in here. What do you tell the mamas and daddies when you have a kid that's highly touted? We know AAU is very involved with these kids at 8, 9, 10 years old. Everybody's telling them what shoes to wear, where you can go to school and all that. Talk about your role and trying to help that young man make the best decision for him and his family.
You know, I kind of tell everybody, every school, I mean, everybody can't play everywhere, you know, and a lot of time parents, I mean, they're going to put their kids in what they feel the best situation for them. So it's not really a recruiting thing, but, you know, parents are going to put kids where they think they have a kid to have a chance to flourish. So, you know, it kind of recruits itself.
Tell us the most famous coach that you've had on your campus that came to recruit one of your guys.
It would have to be Larry Brown. You know, Larry Brown was recruiting Brandon Sampson. You know, Larry Brown was Michael Jordan's coach. You know, Larry Brown would probably be the most famous one that came through there.
Of course, Brandon did commit to St. John's, and then he decommitted once they had a coaching change. Is that correct?
Steve Lavin got fired, and he decommitted.
All right, Coach. Hey, once again, congratulations. Thanks for coming over here.
Thank you.
To Scoreboards to spend a little time with us. Championship coach. He spoiled the fans. They won another one over at Madison Prep. And Jeff, we hope to have you on again after another championship next year.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We'll take a quick time out. We come back. JP comes back in with the seat next to me, and we'll talk about a variety of LSU topics right here on Tigers Roar on a Wednesday night right here on Pelican Sports TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Oh, great party. Oh, thanks for coming, guys. You better get that car warmed up.
I'm on it.
I don't miss those days.
Yeah, we just had a remote start installed.
Oh, us too. Nice.
It's gonna be nice and toasty.
Why don't we have one of those?
We're fine.
Okay, I can't feel my fingers.
I bet everyone else can.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche alongside Buddy Sanji here at Scoreboards on a Wednesday night, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Very convenient to Airline Highway, right behind Anton's Fine Jewelers. If you haven't tried it, do yourself a favor. Come try the food. Come check out the atmosphere. Great place to watch all the sports you can take. TVs everywhere. We're here, Tigers Roar at Scoreboards. Lucky to have the athletic director and the men's basketball coach, assistant principal as well, Coach Jeff Jones from Mass Prep Academy. Last segment. Now we're lucky to be joined by the man, the recruiting guru, Mr. Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com. Mike, how are you doing?
Hey, glad to be with you guys.
Mike, happy to have you. I know you've seen a bunch of spring games, but in a nutshell, what really stood out to you this past Saturday out at Death Valley?
Well, obviously the fact that you get through spring practice or a spring game without a catastrophic injury, that's big. But, the whole day to me is about recruiting. If they weren't contractually obligated, I wonder how many SEC football coaches would actually conduct a spring football game. I wonder if at some point in the future that you'll see some coaches opt to not do them anymore if they can get out of them.
Yeah, Mike, obviously watching that spring game, everybody talking about Stingley as a punt returner and Burrow and Miles Brennan getting rid of the football better and the bevy of wide receivers. Chris Curry finally getting a chance to run over people. But this ties in with Coach O and recruiting the big uglies and the beef. Sadiq Charles and Austin Deculus got to get some tackles, and on the D-line, obviously we know Rashard Lawrence and Fahoko and some of the other guys that are going to be leaving. Just talk about now with LSU at 11, how important it is for them to get maybe 6 or 7 of these last 14 that are in the trenches and in really 4- and 5-star type players.
Yeah, look, there's nothing wrong with being excited about having a recruiting class right now for 20 that's top 3 in the country. But it's also, if you follow the needs of the program and what's on the board, you really want to see a bunch of offensive and defensive linemen start to come into the fold. They need solid groups in both those areas, along with defensive back and wide receiver. You've already got 2 quarterbacks committed. But you really need offensive tackles and the hardcore defensive tackle nose guards in this class. So, You know, you had the Doomerville kid from Florida on campus this weekend. We caught up with him. He had a great visit. Of course, you got a couple of commitments following the spring game. But it's all about the beef, and I think going into next football season, when you look at LSU, the weak area or the biggest question mark is going to be the offensive line, and certainly that can get better if Ed Ingram gets reinstated, which the optimism seems to be high, but there's no one seems to have a timetable or a true idea of when that's going to happen. But they've got to get better at that position.
Mike, I know it was a vanilla offense, but still got to see some 4 and 5 wide receiver sets. Talk about the hype around this new look LSU offense.
No, it's real. I tweeted out a month ago that this thing's all new, and a lot of people didn't believe it because they've been sold this every year. I was down on the field during the game, and then got home and watched the replay on my DVR. And of course the SEC Network guys were talking about how real it is, and you didn't see Burrow or Miles Brennan get under center one time. It is a new offense. Of course, they did keep it very basic. They don't want Texas to see anything. They want Texas to see the Georgia Southern game, and then only have a few days to try and do anything to defend it. They want to give them. They don't want to give them their entire off season to prepare for it. So, but it's got the recruits excited on the offensive side of the ball, quarterbacks, receivers, etc. They just need to get some offensive linemen to make it all go.
All right, Jaden comes in and Lorando comes in. Let's fill everybody in about these last 2 verbal commitments. And Mike, what is in the water that LSU is attracting so many great players from California?
Well, it all started with Elias Ricks. When you get a 5-star defensive back that's also very vocal, a high personality kid, it's making other prospects that he's been, going to camps with, played against. They're all friends and connected on social media. It's got them all looking at LSU. So, of course, the outside linebacker defensive end, Jaden Everett, committed in Norco, California, 6'3", 235, long-arm kid, runs real well, just a huge pickup, a high 4-star kid, a national 100 type of prospect. And then this morning, Lorando Johnson, a defensive back, listed as a corner, but after talking to his coach this afternoon, he's 6 foot, 175, a little under 6'1", and he says that he doesn't care where he plays in the defensive backfield, whether it's corner, nickel, or safety. So Coach Bush is recruiting him along with Corey Raymond, and immediately off you say, what does this do for Major Burns? I don't think it has any effect on Major Burns. I mean, they've got to have a nice half dozen corners and safeties in this class.
All right, Mike, let's talk a little bit about the skill people that come in. We always ask who is going to be a difference maker. And lo and behold, it's obvious that Siani Apu Ika and Derek Stingley and maybe Marcel Brooks when he gets in here. But talk about these guys besides Elias Ricks that you think could be mature enough and good enough to see the field their first year.
Well, you asked me what did I take away from Saturday. I think Ika was the one kid that I watched that I think is the guy to be excited about. That he was an absolute steal. I think it makes a lot of folks immediately forget about losing one from Amy. He's that good. So, but yeah, it's. The skill position players are not going to be an issue in this class. You've got some of the top kids in the country looking at LSU, and look, to me, it's all about getting those defensive linemen to 3 in state, and your offensive tackles, whether it's Brady Ward, who might get an offer in June, Miller Merriweather Lewis, another guard. And then, we'll see about Doomerville, who goes to Oklahoma this weekend.
All right, Mike, now that spring football is over, who do you see the Tigers making the strongest push to come and get a commitment, maybe from the 2020 class?
I think the rest of the way, I think Jermaine Burton on the 20th, I think that there's a good chance that he's going to be an LSU commitment. He's a 5-star caliber prospect. He's a high 4 right now. I think he's very much can be a 5. I predict that he'll be an LSU commitment. Another kid from California, Calabasas, 6'1", 200. The kid is an absolute beast. So, and he's right there in the discussion of who's the number 1 wide receiver prospect in the country.
Mike, we talked about Jimbo coming in, and we know that there's just an incredible amount of competition in the SEC, especially in the SEC West. In light of all of that, with Texas and Jimbo and all that, is that another reason why LSU's going out west to California, and the fact that USC might be down a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's the draw of the SEC, poor decisions at USC, athletic director, coaching hires. Oregon's pilfered a lot of players from that state. The SEC is going more and more into California. Alabama's been there, Tennessee. It's a feeding frenzy. So it's not just the northern states in the Midwest that have gone into Big Ten country and the SEC schools taking players there. But now it's expanding out west in real numbers. I would like to see the list of West Coast kids that have made their way to the SEC in the last 2 or 3 years compared to what it was the previous 3 years.
We had the athletic director and, of course, Jeff Jones, the basketball coach, but Madison Prep has a really good football player by the name of Major Burns. He's got some tight relationships with him and Williams and Jaquilin Roy. Mike, do you see those guys coming to LSU, or is it too early to predict that they'll all go to the same place?
I think it's too early to predict they'd all be at the same school. That's usually a difficult situation with 3 kids at 3 different positions. But, obviously they're all friends. They've known each other for a long time. Certainly Major Burns getting that LSU offer, and then in less than a week decommitting from Texas A&M is telling. Jaquilin Roy, after decommitting from LSU, has been back on campus. So they just need to continue recruiting those guys. And we'll see what happens with Joel Williams. That's going to be interesting. There's multiple defensive backs that we're going to see how things shake out once the June camps take place. And who makes, you got Eric Reed up at Calvary Baptist, who's, there's a couple of kids that really, they have those offers, but they're all contingent on going to camp and getting it committable.
Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com joining us here on Tigers Roar. Mike, great job as always. Certainly appreciate the time you give us here on Tigers Roar. Before we let you go, tell everybody about TigerBait.com and how they can join today.
That's it. Go to TigerBait.com. The site's absolutely overflowing with recruiting information right now. We've expanded our recruiting coverage there. And since Saturday, we've probably put out a dozen updates and more tidbits on our message board, all the coverage of the latest commitments, football breakdowns by position post-spring, baseball, the works, and, of course, we're following the Will Wade situation. So check us out at TigerBait.com. $1 gets you a 30-day free trial period. And if you're an LSU fan, you'll love the site.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Good stuff as always.
That was Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com, spending a few minutes with us here on Tigers Roar. Once again, I am Jonathan Poche, joined by Buddy Sanji. Got to get to a quick break. We come back, we'll talk some LSU softball. Coach Beth Serena's group. Come right back and join us here on Tigers Roar. We're at Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Come check it out. Come right back after this break.
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels right. It feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-383-8177, 800-383-8177.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
The Acord Eye Clinic has moved to a new office, just minutes from the old office at 8280 YMCA Plaza Drive, Building 9. Dr. Shonda Acord and her staff welcome patients of all ages, including children and adults. They have a wide variety of frames and sunglasses, including Maui Jim. The Acord Eye Clinic features modern instruments and state-of-the-art technology, including digital retinal scanning with Optomap, hard-to-fit contact lenses, as well as professional care and service. Open Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. Call for an appointment, 225-767-EYES, and visit the website, visionsource-br.com. The Acord Eye Clinic looks forward to seeing you.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. Jonathan Poche joined by Buddy Sanji, the Bud Man, here on a Wednesday night from Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Going to talk some LSU softball. Hot on fire right now. Big midweek win against McNeese, 4-0. Great pitching performance by the junior, Mary Beth Gorsuch. Beth Arena got to be proud of her girls right now, both offensively and defensively, really putting it all together.
You know, 2 studs last year with Wild Jasper and the young lady from Stanford that came over, and all of a sudden now you got some pitchers out there that don't have that much experience, and Mary Beth is 10-0. Jeff Wickersham's daughter, Shelby, has been phenomenal. Of course, Sinceri has been a home run hitting demon as well as a great pitcher, and they are just playing with a lot of confidence right now. But, you know, years ago I'd have Coach Yvette Drouhard on the program, and I'd say, look, the one thing I want with softball is more offense. Well, we have it 10 years later from Yvette, and I love seeing them hit the long ball. It's a lot more exciting to see a game, in my opinion, 7-5 than a 2-1 that's a snoozer.
Well, softball feels to me just too short. When that ball comes off the bat so quick, if there's any kind of bobble, any kind of misstep in the infield, there's no chance to get the runner out at first. Defense has got to be at a premium. But like you said, watching that long ball, always fun. They say chicks dig the long ball. I guess guys dig the long ball too. It's really fun to watch these ladies from the softball team put it over that fence.
You know, there's not as many slappers that are on the team. There used to be a lot of slapping, but Aaliyah Andrews can flat out fly. She can outrun about 95% of the men in this town. She's such a blur. And of course, how about Sanchez? I know everybody talks about her brother who goes crazy in the stands
right
afterwards with the belt and all that other stuff, but she's had a great year. And they have a tendency to get to OKC, hoping that they do it again. But Beth Torina is probably going to go down as the best hire that Joe Levis had as the AD at LSU. And now, don't get me started on Will Wade, because Eddie Nunez, who's now the AD at New Mexico, is really the guy that told him to hire Will Wade. But Beth has certainly been a great hire and has done great things. And look, there's a lot of staunch, loyal fans with LSU softball.
Softball now with a 34-8 overall record. They are 11-4 in the SEC. The nation has started to take notice. They're top 10 in all the polls. Number 7 in the NFCA poll, number 5 in the ESPN and the USA softball poll. There you see it right there on your screen. Great for these ladies really to get the recognition that they deserve after an outstanding season so far.
Yeah, I had a buddy that used to call me for years, Softball Roy. He's still going out there, and it's fun, it's fast, it's exciting, and once again with the offense, great pitching. But you know, as always, JP, SEC is loaded, a lot of parity, a lot of talent.
LSU will take on the number 23rd ranked Kentucky Wildcats this upcoming weekend, but first, we'll let you hear from head coach Beth Torina and the pitcher from last night with that shutout victory over McNeese State, Mary Beth Gersich. Here is Coach Beth Torina right here on Tigers Roar.
Beth was very good tonight. She talked about using her changeup a lot. What did you see?
Yeah, she did a good job. I thought she really led us today. I think you know, a day where we didn't have a ton of energy. I think just a long weekend, no excuses for it, but she did a good job of leading us and gave us the performance we needed.
Anything particular about the way y'all swung the bats tonight?
I thought they did a good job. I thought they did a good job making adjustments. 3 different pitchers, so you know they didn't quite catch up to the last kid. Didn't get to see her very long, but they made good adjustments throughout. Going to see all the different looks.
But your defense was very good tonight.
They were good. They were solid. I thought they played well behind her. I thought she gave up a lot of things that were mishit, a lot of things that were, you know, easier to defend, I guess you could say, just because she was making quality pitches. So I thought MB did a good job.
And what does this game mean for you going into the weekend?
Well, McNeese is a great team. I think anytime you can beat them, it's a really quality win. I know they always bring a great program. So I think it's a big deal to, you know, stay in front of the teams in our state and just keep winning every chance we get.
Obviously, Mary Beth had a great game tonight. How much did Schlotman contribute to that behind the plate?
Yeah, she did a good job. Both of our catchers have done a good job. Morgan, you know, saw some time here in this game too, and both of them have done a really good job. They're really solid back there. They're getting better all the time.
And we were talking to Mary Beth. How much easier does it make it on you calling pitches, knowing that your defense has been playing so well past couple weeks?
Yeah, the defense did a good job. They're really solid. I think we have a lot of veterans in this lineup, so you know I think they work really well together out there. And Amber Surratt, of course, is our leader out there, and she does a great job.
You said there was a little bit of low energy tonight. How you plan on maybe picking up the energy for the weekend against Kentucky?
I think they'll be fine. I think they're all excited. A lot of events this weekend with the Teal game and the Teal walk. I think they'll be excited for the conference play. I think coming off an off day, coming off of a long bus trip, and it was a pretty hard-fought weekend. You know, I think got a couple people some rest tonight. That's going to be really key going into the weekend, and you know I think we're in a good spot.
Talking about rest, how important is that going into the end of the season in your spin?
Yeah, I think we need to be smart about what we're doing. So, you know, we gave Sinceri the night off, just not for any other reason, but just to try to get her, you know, feeling great for the weekend, just give her the rest. We thought it was a good opportunity to do that. She does so much for us with both pitching and hitting. You know, it's taxing throughout the course of a long season. So, you know, we're trying to be conscious of it and give them rest where we can, but it's also part of the deal. You know, it's a 56-game season, and that's why they work so hard in the weight room and the conditioning in the off season.
Mary Beth, looked like you had it working tonight. A little bit of struggle early, but how did you feel?
I felt pretty good tonight. I came out to this game
with a goal of getting ahead of batters and working on my walks, trying to lessen the amount of walks in a game. So I think I accomplished that. I really tried going into this game reminding myself to just let my defense work because they're really good. So.
Did you have a pitch working for you tonight that particularly well?
I think my changeup was pretty good tonight. I got a lot of outs on it. So I think being able to come out and have that pitch working definitely is an advantage for me and my team. And I also thought my inside stuff was working pretty well. Get balls up on their hand, get them to pop out, get them to ground out, whatnot.
So was the game plan mostly to make them ground out, or were you going for strikeouts?
I never really have. I mean, every time I go into a game, my game plan is to let my defense work. I don't try and, throw a bunch of strikeouts. I don't try and throw a bunch of groundouts, really, or pop-outs. I just go out there, hit my spots, throw what I know how to throw, and just let my defense work.
And obviously, actually, the game started with a single. Mm-hmm. So did that discourage you a little bit because you were cruising throughout the rest of the game?
Yeah. No, it didn't affect me too bad. I just, it was one of those bloopy hits that no one could do anything about it. So I just kind of brushed it off and attacked the next hitter.
So, I mean, you already kind of touched on it, but ever since the Stanford game, I haven't seen this defense really make an error. How does that make it so much easier on you, just knowing that your defense is so solid?
It makes it a lot easier on me and the other pitchers. We've been working really hard on small stuff in the details. That's our big thing. We've been working on our hands and our throws and just perfecting everything as much as we can. So I think with that hard work, it just goes to show how we can play defense, and that game was just a bad game.
Yeah. I guess going towards the end of the season now, what's the mindset going into the really heart of SEC play? Kentucky this weekend. Is there anything y'all have been practicing?
I mean, we're just keeping the same mindset of fight all the way, fight till the end, fight till we can't fight anymore. So that's just our big thing right now. We can't loosen up. We can't get sloppy. We just got to go out there, fight our components, and just keep pushing it.
I guess last question is, behind the plate, how much easier does Schlauman make it on you? Just
a ton. She works really hard for me back there. So to know I have someone out there who's going to really work hard for me and win pitches and block balls, it's pretty comforting.
Winning a midweek game helps you going into the weekend, doesn't it? You feel the momentum?
I do. I thought it was a good win for us and the team. I thought it was a good performance for myself going on to this weekend against Kentucky. It's an important weekend. We want to finish this weekend with another series win, hopefully a sweep. But it definitely was good having this win and bringing the momentum into Kentucky.
Head coach Beth Torina and junior pitcher Mary Beth Gorsuch. Great job last night getting the shutout win against McNeese State. But, buddy, got to talk some LSU gymnastics. Big meet coming up in a couple weeks. The 7th straight semifinal for Coach Dee Dee Bro's bunch. We're going to throw up a graphic of what that is all about. Friday, April 19th, noon Central Time, you see the rotation right there. Beam, floor, vault, bars. Catch that on ESPN2. Looking forward to that and seeing all those fantastic, spectacular seniors maybe they're running the big one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They've been close. They finished the second a couple times, and we know that obviously Sarah Finnegan, Lexi Priestman, McKenna Kelly, and all of those veteran young ladies have been incredibly consistent. They've had some bumps and bruises. Can you imagine on a 4-inch balance beam? I don't know how you get so good on that. Right. How many times do you bust it learning how to do that? Incredible talent, incredible poise, incredible pressure. We talked about with Coach Jones with Madison Prep, the expectations. Right. But boy, Dee Dee has the eye of the tiger. And let me tell you what, they will all be ready to go. It's different this year. You got to finish top 2 and then make the Final 4. It's been Super 6, but I'm hoping and fingers crossed that they can get healed up. They had some injuries, some bumps, flu symptoms, and got to get Lexi back 100%.
Have a little time to let your bodies recuperate, get some rest, get some good food in your belly, relax a little bit, let those bumps and bruises kind of heal up. Got to drink some fluids if you're Sarah Finnegan, get rid of that flu-like symptoms. Speaking of Sarah Finnegan, what an outstanding senior season. Honored again, the Central Region Gymnast of the Year, back-to-back She has dominated this entire season. Can't say enough about Sarah Finnegan.
She is so clutch, and you know, if you have one fall in an apparatus, it really puts a lot of pressure on the last couple of young ladies. McKenna Kelly, everybody knows, the daughter of Mary Lou Retton. And how about Kramer Robinson and the week that he had?
Right.
His mama wins the national championship,
Right.
and then he hits a home run a couple nights ago off of Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton Kershaw, outstanding pitcher for the Dodgers, rehabbing in the minor leagues right now. They faced off against the Cardinals minor league team, which Kramer Robinson, number 3 on that squad, went deep on Kershaw, something you can take away for the rest of your life. I mean, that is a special accomplishment. Happy for Kramer Robinson.
And let me hear from these Jag fans on it, beating LSU last night at Lee Hines Field.
Big win for the Jags.
I mean, did you hear about this? Chris Powers was so ecstatic that he bought everybody food last night after the game. But once again, Carrick Jackson, we can't say enough. You know the vision, you've changed the culture, but that is something that you can really build on. And let's be honest, they just kicked LSU's butt last night. Now, Paul Maneri has got to get those guys back thinking positive. But boy, we've had so many sporting events, and we got the Masters, and who's going to wear the green jacket?
That's right.
This Sunday.
Buddy, I know you're a big-time golfer. Like to get out there to Greystone Country Club. Who do you have winning the Masters?
I'm going with Justin Rose. You know, he's a guy that I picked. I really like to pick until TK told me he's picking Justin Rose. Although TK's been hot lately with his picks. He did do a great job with basketball picks. But look, you can tune in on Sunday afternoon in the last 9 holes. But just incredible. Par 3 today. And they've had a lot of rain like we have over here, so the course won't play as fast. But should be great viewing. And, of course, LSU baseball this weekend at Missouri. And once again, always plenty to talk about, JP.
Look, Missouri 14-2 at home. They're a much better team in Columbia. It will be a tough task for LSU to get back on track. They face one of the toughest pitching assignments in Texas A&M. All those lefty pitchers coming against all those lefty batters. Zach Watson definitely stepped up from the right side of the plate, but Josh Smith, SEC Player of the Year, batted .500 in the series, had a couple of home runs. LSU would not have been where they were without Josh Smith.
Hey, one other tidbit I want to throw out here for scoreboards, but if you are a practicing Catholic, we've got some incredible seafood. We've got 2 more Fridays left in the Lenten season, but this crawfish, you know, Powers has already told me that if I eat this crawfish, he's going to have a word with me, but Chris does a great job, and we know Coach Roman Banks and all the people over at Southern, but great place if you are looking for a place for Friday and you are abstaining from meat.
Not only the seafood, the bread pudding, the dessert is outstanding here at Scoreboards. Athletic Director Coach Roman Banks dubbed it the overtime bread pudding. The Bud Man. I know you're going to enjoy that. Smells delicious. They got the nuts crumbled up on top. I am definitely going to dig into that as soon as we are done. Yeah, big weekend, last weekend from LSU. It's going to be more of the same in the future. A lot to look forward to. Gymnastics in their semifinal. Baseball going through the heart of the SEC schedule. A lot going on. Spring football is over. We appreciate you joining us here at Scoreboards on Tigers Roar. I'm Jonathan Poche. He's been the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji. Thanks for joining us.